What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm CJ, this is Out of Bounds, and on today's video we're going to be talking about another NBA PrizePicks board breakdown for January 14th. It's a little after 3 p.m. here on the East Coast. Sorry the video is getting out to you a little bit later today, but I had another project that I was doing, so it kind of pushed things back for me a little bit, but we're here. Better late than never. I took last night off from PrizePicks because 2 nights ago I just got absolutely reamed, and just sometimes it's good to just step away and then step back in, and hopefully we see things with more clarity and make better decisions with our picks, our money, how much we're putting out there on certain guys and certain lineups. So I'm back on the horse. I'm ready to get back to it and start grinding. So tonight's a little bit of a shorter slate, so let's jump into some news real quick. John Wall, he was out for the last game, but he's expected to miss this game. DeMar DeRozan, probable for personal reasons. He's going to return today. Victor Oladipo is out due to the trade that just happened. Huge trade. Anybody who's in the Discord, by the way, link to the Discord in the description below. Anybody in the Discord knows we were talking about the big trade that went down. James Harden, obviously, to the Nets. Victor Oladipo, he went to the Rockets. Karis LeVert ended up on Indiana. We had Jared Allen going to Cleveland. So lots of moving pieces. So this is a little bit of a fallout from Victor Oladipo getting traded. He won't be available for the Rockets tonight. Tobias Harris, he's probable and he's on track to play today. Bam Adebayo, he is out for Thursday. Jimmy Butler, also out for Thursday. You guys who played the Heat guys, Kelly Olynyk and Tyler Harrow, I think both those guys ended up going over the other night when both Bam and Jimmy were out of the lineup. Gordon Hayward, he's probable to play with a hip strain. Michael Porter Jr. out due to COVID protocol, out indefinitely due to COVID protocol. But I think that's going to sum it up for most of the main guys, the big names to worry about as far as news goes. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's slate. We'll kick things off with the Miami Heat. We mentioned Tyler Harrow earlier. Going over on Harrow was a good play for most of you guys the other night. I believe he ended up getting there for you. Takes on Philadelphia tonight, 7:10 p.m. He's projected for 37.5 points. Guys, I'm going to keep it a little shorter and sweeter, hopefully, today as far as projections go. I'm just going to stick to using roto grinders. They are the most accurate. They do update throughout the day, so I think maybe moving forward to cut down on time of video, the length of the video, that we will just stick to maybe using like one, at the very most, maybe 2 sites in the future. So let's talk Tyler Harrow tonight. Where is he at? Is he at shooting guard? I think he's at shooting guard, maybe. There he is. Harrow, he is projected for 38.22 on roto grinders. Let's take a look at some of his recent game logs. His last game, 45.4 points. Huge total. 41.8 points the game before that. Another huge total. I mean, the guy's playing 37 and 39 minutes in his last couple of games, putting up 20 or more field goal attempts per game. You gotta love that. So Tyler Harrow, he's going to be asked to take on an even bigger workload tonight. With no Jimmy Butler, no Bam in the lineup, you can expect Harrow to get back out there and let it fly again. And, tonight against Philadelphia, this is a rematch for Miami. Last time Harrow faced Philadelphia, he put up the 45.4 points. So I really like how things are shaping up for a Tyler Harrow over tonight. But let's look at some of the other metrics here and see if it makes sense to take the over or the under on Tyler. The Heat are projected to score 106.25 points as a team. He's a combo guard. Combo guards have done well this season against Philadelphia. Philly's only 27th against combo guards, so you love to see that. This is a 2 games and 3 nights situation for Tyler Harrow, and he's averaging 0.89 fantasy points per minute. But we're going to throw that number out the window, right? Because that 0.89 is indicative of Jimmy Butler and Bam and everybody being in the lineup. So I expect that number to be way over 0.89 for tonight. I think he gets way more than 1 fantasy point per minute. He should be closer to that 1 fantasy point per minute range. So Tyler Harrow, the 37.5, I think that's still a little too low on him. I'm going over on Harrow tonight. The other side of the ball, we've got Joel Embiid, 51. As you guys may have heard, Joel Embiid had a monster night the other night for Philadelphia. Tonight, he's taking on Miami, as we mentioned before. He's projected for 52.66 tonight, so they like the over on Embiid. Let's take a look at the game logs real quick. His last game against Miami, guys, no Bam in the lineup, no real threat. I mean, is Kelly Olynyk going to stop Joel Embiid? Doubtful. 84.2 fantasy points, guys. Let's just dig in a little deeper on that 84.2 while we've got a little time. Played almost 40 minutes, took 23 shots. Scrolling across here, went to the free throw line 13 times, converted on all 13 attempts. That's a big number. I don't know that he goes to the free throw line again. I mean, he's only gotten to the free throw line double-digit times, just a couple of times this season. 16 rebounds, though. 4 assists, 5 steals. The 5 steals really helped his total on the night, but 45 real-life points. I mean, the dude just absolutely crushed it. The previous game, 38.7. He missed the game against Denver here. 36.9 against Brooklyn. Another huge game here, 68. So Joel Embiid, he's had some downs and some ups throughout the season, but tonight is looking very nice for Joel Embiid. I don't think he gets 84 again, guys, but I do think that he gets a lot more than the 51 that PrizePicks has him at. But let's take a look at the rest of the numbers here. Philadelphia is projected to score 116.75 points as a team. He's a versatile big man. Miami, they've been okay against versatile bigs, ranking, near the middle of the league. And this is 3 games and 4 nights for Embiid, and he's averaging a 1.61 fantasy point per minute. That's huge. That's huge. They've got him projected for 34 minutes. It's really kind of up in the air. We don't really know how many minutes that Joel Embiid's going to play in this one. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that Philadelphia is projected to be a 10.5 point favorite at home. So there is definite blowout potential here. So if you think Embiid goes over the 51, he's probably going to have to get it done in 3 quarters for you, which is something he's totally capable of doing. But keep the blowout in mind for Joel Embiid. I don't think I really want to dig into Olynyk or Duncan Robinson. Let's go with another Philadelphia guy. Let's talk Ben Simmons. His name was being dangled around in those James Harden trade rumors recently, but Philadelphia opted to hang on to their franchise point guard. He's projected for 41.7 points tonight. Let's look at the game logs real quick. He did play in the last game against Miami, only logged 31 minutes, almost 32 minutes in that game. Mustered a measly 30.2 fantasy points in that one. So not a good look for Ben Simmons. The games before that, he missed both of them. His other game against Brooklyn here, 22.8 points. The game before that, 45.2, 34, 47. So he's had some games where he's missed. He's had some down games recently. I don't know if Ben Simmons is 100% right now. I'm a little worried about taking the over on Ben Simmons right now. I mean, I would lean toward the under. I know they've got him at 41.7, but I'm not seeing it. It's hard for me to get there. Again, Philadelphia projected to score almost 117 points as a team. He's a distributor as a point guard, and the matchup is not the greatest for Ben Simmons. But again, the Miami Heat are depleted. They're not going to have all of their stars out there. He averages 1.17 fantasy points per minute, but I don't know, guys. I don't trust him, Ben Simmons, to get 40. I'd probably lean toward the under if it was me, but you could also just fade. You don't have to play the guy just because I'm talking about him. So fading him is definitely in the cards if you don't feel good about it. Gordon Hayward. Let's talk Gordon Hayward. He's been pretty good lately. As we saw at the top of the show, he is dealing with a hip issue. So I don't know how much that's going to slow him down. That could cut into his productivity, I guess. He's projected for 37 points tonight. Let's take a look at the projections. They like the under on Hayward. They've got him at 35.52. Let's open up the game logs and see what Hayward's been up to recently. 25.3 in his last one, 42.1 in the one before that, 19.7, 40, 60. So he's got a couple of bad games recently, but I mean, for the most part, he's been 40 plus points in a lot of the games that he's played in recently. Going against Toronto tonight, we don't have a previous game log for Hayward against Toronto, so this will be his first matchup against the Raptors. Let's go across the board here. The Hornets are only projected to score 105.75 points, so that puts them as the lowest projected scoring team on the slate. He's a versatile forward. Versatile forwards against Toronto have done fairly well here. They only rank 22nd against that type of player, and this is a back-to-back for Hayward. Also 3 games in 4 nights. So Gordon Hayward, fantasy points per minute, a little bit over that gold standard of 1. He's at 1.08 fantasy points per minute. Toronto's kind of a tough team defensively, guys. I mean, you know, they got him projected to be in there for 36 minutes tonight, but, you know, they like the under on Hayward, and I think I tend to agree. I think this is going to be a tough spot for Hayward, especially if he sees like a lot of like Pascal Siakam defensively, or maybe he ends up getting matched up with like a Norman Powell or someone. I mean, this could be a tough little matchup for Hayward, so I'd probably pick the under if I was going to go any which way on him. Let's talk about my man, Fred VanVleet. VanVleet, most nights, has been crushing this 37-point projection that they have him at tonight. Let's see if tonight can produce another over for Fred VanVleet, or maybe we should just take the under. So right off the top here, guys, you can see that they like him for almost 40 points over on Roto Grinders tonight. Let's look at the game logs real quick for Freddie Boy. His last game, he scored 19 fantasy points. Not good. The game before that, 36.5 fantasy points. Pretty good, but not good enough for tonight's projection. The game before that, 48.1, and then 36.3. But then you go down the last 3 prior to that one, and he was crushing, like 40 and 45 and up, you know, 45, 50 points. So, Fred VanVleet playing big minutes, getting a lot of shots, very, very involved in the offense here. Doesn't have a previous game log against Charlotte. This is the first time these two teams will meet, as I mentioned. But if we look across the board here, Toronto is expected to score 114.25 points as a team. He's a combo guard, and combo guards against Charlotte have struggled. They rank 10th against that type of player. But Fred VanVleet's putting up a respectable 1.09 fantasy points per minute. So there you have it on Fred VanVleet. Maybe he returns to form, but this game looks to be kind of a lower scoring game. I don't know that we can expect another 40-plus point night for Fred VanVleet. Before we get off this game, let's talk Lamelo Ball. We've talked about him a lot here lately on the channel. We're going to talk about him again because I think some of you folks in the Discord took Lamelo Ball the other night, and Lamelo dropped a deuce. And I don't mean 2. I mean, he dropped a turd of a game on you guys. And unfortunately, it's like that sometimes. But let's see what Lamelo Ball is capable of tonight. They got him projected at just 28 minutes tonight. That's not good. Normally, we want our guys, you know, especially if we're taking overs on guys, we want to see like 32, 36 minutes. But they've got him projected for 35 points in just 28 minutes of gameplay, and that's because Lamelo Ball is a fantasy points per minute monster in his young career. So we like that about Lamelo Ball, but his last game, he only played 25 minutes, guys. He was 2 for 8, so he only attempted 8 field goals. I mean, you see the previous game logs here, 10 or more field goal attempts in all of those games. He did add some other stats there to help. 7 rebounds, 5 assists. This guy, kind of like his brother Lonzo, he just is a do-it-all type of player. Normally he's a bit better though as far as getting field goal attempts and scoring the ball, but as you can see, that 25-minute marker, that probably had a lot to do with his output for the night. So let's hope for, you know, 29, 30 minutes or more for Ball like he had in some of these other games. Previous games, though, 46, 54, 37, 29, 37, 41. So you could see what Ball is capable of. Tonight's projection is well within reach for this kid. The Hornets, as we mentioned before, only projected to score like 105, 106 points. They call him a distributor. Well, distributors against the Raptors have done pretty well this season. The Raptors rank 30th against distributor-type point guards. This is a back-to-back for Lamelo and 3 games in 4 nights for him as well, but averaging a very, very healthy 1.29 fantasy points per minute for Ball. So you love to see that. The total here is a little concerning. You know, the Raptors are projected to score 114.25 points. Charlotte, 105.75. So this game could be a blowout. I mean, this is like 9-10 point spread territory, right? If it blows out, why wouldn't they play Lamelo Ball extended minutes? Unless he's dealing with an injury, unless he pisses the coach off or something. But, like, why wouldn't you put Lamelo Ball in there for, you know, some extra experience, some extra exposure to work on his game? Like, why wouldn't you put him in there late into the 4th quarter? So, I mean, this could be another situation where Ball bounces back, especially if the game goes, you know, blowout like it's projecting that it could. I think Lamelo can get over that 35.5, especially with how good the matchup looks on paper. So enough of that game. We will move on to the next one. The Houston Rockets. Yes, as we talked about, they traded away their franchise cornerstone, their main man, the beard, James Harden, no longer there. He's out. But you know who's still in? Christian Wood. And Christian Wood this season has been good. He's projected for 42 points tonight, and for good reason. You don't have a guy like James Harden soaking up all of that usage, soaking up all of that offense. So I like that for Christian Wood. A big bump for his projections tonight. Guys, they might be a little bit too low, though. 42 sounds rich. But maybe we need to be looking at Christian Wood a little bit differently now that James Harden's out of the picture. Maybe we need to be looking at Christian Wood as, like, you know, the guy, the #1 guy. I don't know if John Wall is. I don't know if Boogie Cousins is. And we don't know about Victor Oladipo. He's not on the team yet. But Christian Wood tonight, a big over here on Roto Grinders, 48.1 points. If we dig into the game logs, he's had some down games. But got to keep in mind, this is with James Harden. James Harden's gone. He's heading up north for a colder climate. So 27.1, 30.1. Game before that, 48. And we go back down to earlier in the season, 53, 47, 40, 51. So the guy can get it done, right? Especially if he's going to be playing 30-plus minutes. That's the key, right? We want these guys to play minutes. We need them out on the floor in order to score fantasy points. And when he's out there, he's attempting quite a few field goal attempts. He's also getting quite a few rebounds. And I expect all those things to go up considerably without James Harden in the lineup. So let's look at where he's at tonight. They project him to play 34 minutes. The Rockets are only projected to score between 105 and 106 points. He is a versatile big man, which means he can do it all. We love that with our fantasy players. And the matchup here is not a bad one for him. It's actually a very, very good one against San Antonio, 27th in the league against versatile bigs. This is a 2 games and 3 nights situation for Christian Wood, and he puts up a very, very good number here, 1.26 fantasy points per minute. So if you think this game stays close right now, it looks like San Antonio is a 7-point favorite at home against the Houston Rockets. But if you think it stays closer than that, if they make it a game and make it competitive, we know DeRozan's going to be playing for San Antonio tonight, so that helps them out quite a bit. But if you think it stays close, then go ahead and take Christian Wood and take the over on him, because Roto Grinders is way, way over this 42. This is looking like a steal, like a real good deal. So let's move along here. I don't have DeMar DeRozan on the board at the moment. Maybe they put him up later, but let's talk Dejounte Murray. Dejounte. I think I'm getting that right. Dejounte? Dejounte? Does you want him in your lineup? That's the important question. We want to know if we want to take the over or under on Murray tonight, right? So let's go look and see what Mr. Murray's been up to lately. They got him projected for almost 34. Let's call it 34, guys. Opening up the game logs, 31.5 in his last one, 23.3 here. 48.8, probably more of like a ceiling game for him there, approaching 50 points. 30.6 here, 38.5, 24, 24. So most nights, guys, low 30s to mid 30s, I think is a reasonable expectation for Damonte Murray. Does he have a previous game log against Houston? I don't see one. So this will be his first time taking them on. So let's look across the board here. They got him projected to play 32 minutes. San Antonio is projected to score about 112, 113 points. He is a combo guard. And the Rockets aren't very good against combo guards. I'm sure James Harden had a lot to do with that. That guy plays matador defense. Sees the defender coming. Ole! And just lets him go right by into the hoop. James Harden, not going to win any Defensive Player of the Year awards. This is a 2 games and 3 night situation here. And Murray averages a 1.04 fantasy point per minute. So pretty good numbers there for Murray. He's a young guy, so if this game does get out of hand, I expect guys like DeMar DeRozan to hit the bench or Patty Mills to hit the bench. Patty Mills, is he still on the... Yeah, he's still a Spur, right? Yeah. So I don't expect those veterans to play deep into the game, but a guy like Damonte Murray could. Him and Keldon Johnson, another guy to keep an eye on. So there you have it. Let's move on to the next game. We've got the Golden State Warriors versus the Denver Nuggets. That is a late game. That one tips off at 10:10 p.m. Let's talk about Steph Curry. Not my brother, not my cousin, in no way related, except for we do share a wicked jump shot. That is one thing we do have in common. Mr. Curry, 47.48 points is his projection tonight. Diving into the game logs real quick, 33.3 in his last one, 25.8. 2 very disappointing games. I will tell you this from firsthand experience. That game against Indiana when he put up 33.3, whew, that one sent me to the poorhouse, guys. And it almost sent me to the insane asylum because that dude drove me crazy that night. He drove me crazy that night. I was expecting big things out of Curry, man. That was a good matchup. Him and Sabonis on the other side. I mean, I expected these dudes to absolutely feast, but it didn't happen. And now I'm broke. And now I'm out on the streets panhandling for some money to load onto PrizePicks tonight so I can play with you guys. Times are hard, y'all. Times are hard. But if we go back here against the Clippers, he put up 63.9 points. Another down one in between, 28.3, 50.8, 69. So we know what Steph Curry can do. We know who this guy is, what he's capable of. This is his first matchup against the Denver Nuggets, so we don't really have anything to compare it to. But we're going to go across the board here and see what Curry can do tonight. He's projected for 35 minutes. We mentioned before, 47 points. And look at the ceiling on this guy. It can get up to like the 70-point range. We love that, right? That would be awesome if we had a ceiling game from Steph Curry tonight. May not happen, though, because the Golden State Warriors are projected to score just 110 points. They call him a combo guard. That's fair. And then the Nuggets, they rank 19th against combo guards. This is a 2 games in 3 night situation for Curry. He's averaging a very, very robust 1.3 fantasy points per minute. So go, Steph, go. This game should stay close. It's only a 5-point spread. Let's hope that it does. Let's hope that this is an up and down, run and gun. Steph Curry chucking threes left and right, getting to the free throw line, dropping dimes type of game for Steph Curry. I think the projections are just too close for me to touch him tonight. I don't think I want to try and figure out if he's going over or under. So I'm going to fade you, Mr. Curry. Nicola Yokic. PrizePicks has finally caught on. Last few times we've seen Nicola Yokic on the board, he's been projected at like 51 points. Well, that's kind of low for the Joker. This dude, tremendous upside. He's projected for 54 tonight. So they've increased his projection over what we've seen in the last few games. They're tightening up, guys. PrizePicks is tightening up. I've tipped my cap to them. I will tip my cap to them again. You lines makers at PrizePicks are doing a wonderful job. Keep up the good work. Projected for almost 55 tonight. Nicola Yokic digging into the game logs. 72.1, 45.5, 39.8, 60, 70, 44, 46, 52. You see it for yourself. I got that blue drink. It be popping. But we know what Joker can do, right? Big upside here. There's really not many games where he's putting below 40 points up. If this game does blow out, if it does get out of hand, then I don't expect Joker to hit 34 minutes. But this guy can put up fantasy points in bunches. His ceiling is 76.9 tonight, guys. So he's got big upside. The Nuggets are projected to score over 115 points tonight. He's a versatile big, and Golden State ranks 6th against versatile bigs. 2 games in 3 nights for Joker. 1.60 fantasy points per minute for the big man. The only guy topping him right now is Joel Embiid at 1.61. So, again, Joker can get those assists and rebounds and points and steals and blocks. And, I mean, he does it all. He does it all. So, there you have it on Nicola Yokic. The 54 is going to be a tricky one to figure out. Sometimes it's just better to move along and don't try to figure it out. We haven't talked a lot of Jamal Murray this season. This might be like the second time we've talked about him ever. He's projected for 33 tonight. He's had a slow start. It hasn't been the dominant bubble Jamal that we came to know from the postseason last year, but you know, Jamal Murray's still a fantastic player. He's projected to score 32.64 points tonight, which would put him slightly under his PrizePicks projection. Let's get into the game logs and look and see why they have him so low. Well, 26 in his last one, 13.5 there, 22.2. There's a big one, 39.3, 16.7. So guys, if you look at the last 5 games for Jamal Murray, he's only exceeded tonight's projection once, and it was against the Dallas Mavericks. Do you believe Jamal Murray does it again? Does he go over the 33? I'm kind of skeptical on Jamal Murray, and I think the projections are leaning that way as well. So he's going to see 34-ish minutes tonight. Denver's expected to score a little over 115 points. He's a combo guard, and combo guards do well against Golden State, typically. Golden State ranks 21st against combo guards. This is 2 games in 3 nights for Murray. 0.85 fantasy points per minute. You hate to see that. That is not a good number. 0.85. As always, guys, we shoot for 1 point per minute or more. 1 fantasy point per minute or more. Murray hasn't been getting there. I don't think he gets there again tonight. I like the under on Jamal. Kelly Oubre, a guy that pissed a lot of us off to start the season. Kelly Oubre came out looking like garbage, like hot trash. Dumpster juice? Dumpster juice, yeah. Dumpster juice. That's fair. Kelly Oubre tonight, though, because that's all we care about. We don't care about what he's done in the past so much. What can he do for us tonight? Well, he's projected to play 29 minutes, 24.8 fantasy points. Puts him right around 25. So PrizePicks might have this guy figured out. He might put up around 25. His last game, he put up 31. Previous game, 25.7. And you got a womp womp 12 and a womp womp 15, 33, 31, womp womp 15. So you tell me, based on what you're seeing here, do you trust Kelly Oubre to go over or under? I think it's hard to trust him, period. I don't know that I do. I don't know that I do trust you, Kelly Oubre. Let's look across the board here. Mentioned it before with Curry. Golden State only expected to score 110 points. Oubre is a scoring wing. Scoring wings against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are tough against them. Scoring wings, they rank 8th against scoring wings. 2 games in 3 nights and 0.88. Another poo-poo fantasy point per minute average for a poo-poo player, let's be honest. Kelly Oubre, I don't trust you, and I probably won't touch you tonight. So 46.5 for Damonte Sabonis, another guy who absolutely devastated and crushed and destroyed all my hopes and dreams of winning hundreds and hundreds of PrizePicks dollars. They've got him priced or projected up tonight at 46.5. He was like 44, I want to say, the other night. Very, very friendly, reasonable projection, and just absolutely crapped the bed on us. They like the over tonight at almost 49 points over on Roto Grinders. Let's take a look at his recent games. 42.8 against Golden State in their last meeting. Then it was 42.7, 57.4, 40, 43. So, I mean, the guy is a model of consistency. Most nights, 40 to 45 is the norm for him. Sometimes he's feeling extra spry and gets up there at 50-plus fantasy points. He's got a couple of those in his game log, but we shouldn't expect 50 or more from Sabonis on most nights. What we should expect is the mid-50s to mid-40s to upper 40s for this guy most nights. He has not faced Portland before. This will be his first matchup against Portland. He is projected to play 38 minutes. The Pacers are projected to score 113 points as a team. He is a post big. Post bigs, not the easiest matchup against Portland. They rank 15th against post-up big men. This is 3 games and 4 nights for Mr. Sabonis. But he does average 1.2 fantasy points per minute, so that's a pretty good number. And the thing that I love most about this game, guys, is that it's expected to be a close game. 116 for Portland, 113 for Indiana, who is on the road. So, you know, no reason to think that this game blows out. Sabonis is projected to play 38 minutes. 38 minutes. That's a huge number. So, I like it. I just don't know if I like the 46.5. I mean, he really hasn't gotten there very often. It's going to be close. This is going to be one of those ones where, like, you take the under on him and he probably ends up going over, and, you know, it's like by like 2 points or something. You end up being very, very sad. Damien Lillard, they've knocked his projection down barely, slightly. I think he's been like 46, 47 most nights. Tonight, he's 45. So let's go over to point guard on Roto Grinders and see where he's at. He's at 40, we'll call it 45. 45, so they might be on the money here. I told you their projections are starting to tighten up. Damian Lillard, his last game, 69.7 last night. Played a lot of minutes, almost 42 minutes against Sacramento. Previous games, 33.9, 33.8. Here's a big one, 65.9. And then we're back down to 43.5, 37.8. So as you can see, guys, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride with Mr. Dame Time. 30, 40 here, 60, 60. So which Damian Lillard are we going to get tonight? He's projected to play 36 minutes. We said he's projected to score 45 fantasy points. A nice, healthy team total of 116 points for the Blazers. He is a combo guard. Combo guards against Indiana. They rank 12th against combo guards. We mentioned this is a back-to-back. He did play big minutes last night. Maybe fatigue is a factor. I don't know. 1.2 fantasy points per minute, though, for Damian Lillard. So that's a good per minute average for Damian. Let's move on. Let's go to his wingman, Mr. CJ McCollum. Guys, sad news. Sad news to report about CJ McCollum. He's no longer 36 fantasy points. Why do you think that is? Is that because you, me, everybody in the Discord, everybody in the world is probably clicking the over on that little pathetic 36 that they post for CJ McCollum on PrizePicks every night? Yeah, I think they probably caught on finally. Like, doggone, we're getting a lot of heat on this over CJ McCollum 36 points. Why? Why, guys? Let's change it. Well, they did change it. And tonight he's projected for 42.5 points over on Roto Grinders. Let's get into the game logs. 50.4 last night, 47.7, 50.1. Here's a down one, 31.6, 42, 51. We just talked about this guy in yesterday's video, so I won't go too far in here, but still, I mean, even at his projection of 40 tonight, guys, man, it makes you stop and it makes you think a little bit more than 36 does for sure. 4 points is a significant increase in his projections from one night to the next, but how many times has he won over 40? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times in 7 games he's won over 40. 7, 8. 8 games this season he's won over 40. Is 40 even enough? Are we still clicking over on CJ McCollum at 40? Man, it's so tempting to do based on what we're seeing in the game logs. Let's look across the board here and see what's happening though. Projected to play 36 minutes tonight. 116 is the total for Portland, as we mentioned with Dame. CJ McCollum's a scoring wing, and scoring wings against Indiana do really well. They only rank 25th against scoring wings. We mentioned this is a back-to-back for McCollum. 1.3 fantasy points per minute, the highest among all shooting guards on the slate tonight. So, this might be another over on CJ McCollum. But it's going to make you stop and think a little bit harder before you just, insta-click his name and insta-click the over, right? The other side of the ball, we have not talked Miles Turner much on this channel. Maybe we've never talked Miles Turner on this channel. Let's make it a first right now. 35.5 is his projection tonight. Let's see where Roto Grinders likes the big man for Indiana. They've got him at 34.5, which would be an under if you're keeping track at home. His recent game logs, 56.4 against Golden State. The previous games here, 31.2, 43.5, 41, 30, 22, 40. All right, so most times, I mean, we could, 30 to 40, but the guy's game logs are all over the place. All over the place. Does not have a previous game against Portland. So let's see what else we can figure out here about Miles Turner and which way we should go. He's projected to play 32 minutes tonight. Indiana's projected to score 113 points as a team. He is a versatile big man. Portland ranks 9th against versatile bigs. 3 games in 4 nights for Mr. Turner. And he puts up a really respectable 1.23 fantasy points per minute. So not too shabby. Matchup might be a little bit of a tough one though. He's going against Jusuf Nurkic, who's projected for 33 tonight. So let's take a look at Nurk. Nurk, if you burk, boy. He's projected for 27 minutes of game time. 31.87 is his fantasy point projection tonight. His last game, he put up 44.4 points. 3.4, a very down one, but he left the game early there. Only played 8.77 minutes. So backing up a little further, 37.1, 29.4, 36.2. Hard to trust this guy too, right? I mean, 20s, and then he's got some in the 12s, and one in the 3.4, and then some in the 30s, and a couple in the 40s. Like, whew. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this guy. I don't know how to feel about a lot of guys tonight, quite honestly, for a number of reasons. Is like, these projections are tough. Let's just be real and call it what it is. These projections on PrizePicks are getting very tough to figure out. And 2, this guy's inconsistent. How do we trust somebody that we never know what to expect out of? All right, well, let's go across the board here. Like I said, he's projected to play just 27 minutes. Not good. Not good. Not if you're going to take the over, that's not good. Portland's expected to score 116 points. He's a post big man. And Indiana struggles against post big men. They rank 30th in the league against post up bigs. This is a back-to-back for Nurkic, 3 games and 4 nights. And 1.16 fantasy points per minute for Nurk. So there you have it. I don't love it, but the guy can get there, I guess. I mean, I'd probably favor the under. Unless you really like the matchup and you really think that Nurkic is going to be out there playing big-time minutes going against Mr. Miles Turner. But that's for you to decide. So you guys, let me know how you're feeling about Jusuf Nurkic, about everybody else on the board. Who did I get wrong? Who did I get right? drop a comment down below. And, you know, you guys have been killing the likes lately. We're going to go for 10 likes again. I keep setting that number at 10. Maybe I'll do like PrizePicks did with CJ McCollum and raise that number of 10 up to like 12 for the next video. But let's see if we can go over 10 likes again today, guys. You guys have been crushing it, killing it, helping me build the channel. We're doing it together. So I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I hope to get back on the winning streak tonight. And the same for you if you've been losing like I have. If you've been winning, well, let's keep that streak alive too. Anyways, this is it for me. CJ, out of bounds. Peace out.